Have a nice show. I love that part. Have a nice show.
Is this a show?
I guess that's what it says.
According to some comments.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Check back in at the end of the next year. See you, bub. I'm gonna write that one on my freaking. I'm gonna get that tattooed in the back of my hand.
Just have it as your screensaver.
I'm petty like that. But it's fine. Have a nice show. It's different with all these. I'm trying to test out all these contraptions.
Now, is it to the point where it's user error?
The contraptions?
Yeah.
I don't know, because that Rode thing, I've never plugged it into the computer before, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
I mean, I could hear you. Like, I heard the soundboards and all that stuff.
Oh, you did? It may have just been StreamYard then.
Yeah.
StreamYard might have just been bugging.
Yeah. No, you're testing out soundboards and you're like, can you hear that? Can you hear that? And I was like, yes.
So you heard the crickets and all of it?
Yeah.
Dude, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I think we're live and rolling.
Dude, we got a lot to talk about.
Don't say that. Don't say that. When are you gonna start shed hunting your places? Or do you plan to this spring at all?
Dude, I already did my shed hunting. I found a deadhead. I'm good.
That's part of it. Are you gonna shed at the pub by your house? You should.
There's a lot of other things to do though. Like
what?
I feel like if I have free time, I want to try to go sit out there for some hogs. Like sheds are cool. I got enough sheds. But yeah, I mean it would be. Yeah. I mean also I do need to explore that spot, just try to find a couple more good areas just in case nothing turns out fruitful this year with the leases and stuff, but
do you have confidence that the lease situation is going to improve?
I don't know. Because like
toss up for you.
It has to be the right lease, or else I'm just good with just not even doing it. You know what I mean? I don't want to lease just for the sake of having a lease. Like it's either the right one, or else like I'd rather just pocket the money and put it as like towards the down payment savings.
Yeah, for sure. I found another one today. Funny enough, it was a guy from Texas, but he was talking about a river bottom property that was several hundred acres, and he said he was trying to lease it for like four people, 4 guns. He posted a couple 170s that had been killed off of it. Like it looked like several years back.
Where was it at?
I want to say it was somewhere western Oklahoma. I don't remember exactly, but I want to say western. So,
I mean, if we want to just like third the 110, I'm down.
Yeah, to kill $2.
3.
You can't kill 3 out there. Not at this moment.
Well, yeah.
How much competition will we have for $2 with 3 people? It'd be like, I'm going this weekend. So am I.
No. We just added the $3 off that one property because now the outfitter's gone on the side. So theoretically, you're still up bucks.
That's true. I don't know how much damage. I don't know how much damage he did this year, though. He could have done a bunch.
Well, the damage for what, last year, 2 years ago? That's enough damage for a while.
Mr. Next year.
Yeah.
That was a big enough kick in the nads there alone. But I've been looking every week. So, and I haven't found. What I'm noticing with the leasing situation is there's a lot of people that want to lease their property, but it very rarely is the people that have good deer hunting properties. It's like, oh, I got a pasture.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Kansas walk-in program where you show up and you're like, this looks like a cattle guy who wanted another paycheck.
That's 100% what it was. That's 100. Like there was one, we were just bouncing around trying to find different spots, and like we were just going to go check out 2 different areas like that following morning. And so obviously we never really laid eyes on it from onX. Granted, we didn't cross-examine this with like Google Maps or Google Earth or anything like that, but on X, it looked like there was like maybe a pocket of trees, and we're like, okay, like, or at least I thought that's worth a shot. I walk out there at dark, try to get set up, and I get to this little pocket of trees, and it's literally like 3 shrubs. And so I'm just like sitting there at dark, like, do I walk back to the truck? And then I sit there about 15 minutes after daylight, and I have about, I don't know, 50 cows about 60 yards away. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to call it an early morning.
That was a morning hunt. You did that?
Yeah. Well, that was the same morning hunt that I think you ended up getting out early as well and driving around. And that's when we seen all those bucks. I think that was that same day on the private pieces.
That was that evening then, because I remember I was walking around that piece in it. It's no longer in Weehaw, so nobody will find it, but it was just that one long draw cattle pasture, cattle all in it. And I got so sick of walking around and seeing no sign of you got out and started driving around. You're like, dude, I'm seeing bucks everywhere. I'm like, I'm doing that too. Get out, drive.
Well, it was about to start raining. That's what it was, because it was kind of upsetting actually. So no, that was that morning, but that evening, I did that, and when I got set up, that's when I heard that dude like 80 yards away just crashing horns, and I was like, dude, he's close. Like, I'm just gonna get down. Like, I'm not gonna see anything. I was only up in that spot for maybe 15 minutes. I walked through this pasture, go walking back, and like, this isn't, like I said, a 15-minute difference. I jump a pretty good buck on a doe, just probably 30 yards from where I walked 15 minutes ago. So I don't know if they were just laying there, or as soon as I walked by, they came out and like laid down there. But it was kind of sad, because that was like the closest I got to a good buck in Kansas, like that whole weekend.
But you saw big one driving around, didn't you?
Yeah, but he was out there. He was out there.
I remember that. I drove by. I got out of that piece, drove around the section, came by this big like private hunting club. And was I on the phone with you when I drove by it?
Mm-hmm.
I was driving. I was like, there's got to be some deer out, because it was like dreary, drizzly November. And I looked to the left, and that buck he was probably only 50 yards off the road. And I got to watch him run away for like 400 or 500 yards. I'm driving. I take a look to the left. There's like 40 deer in this cut field. And one of the bigger frame deer I've ever seen. I mean, it was probably 19 inches wide and just like legit that tall. And just boom, boom. He was probably 160-inch deer, probably maybe high 50s, low 60s type, like 9-point. I mean, the frame was huge. Running off.
Like barely a shooter.
No, I mean, not a shooter for me, but maybe for other people. Yeah. That's why I ended up shooting a 50-incher, because that one wasn't good enough. We got a Pokemon guy over here in the comments.
I feel like he's trying to bait us into something.
The poker robot? Is this Pokemon? You got to walk around to catch them all. You should have used a polar ball to catch it. I haven't played Pokemon in a decade.
I know what a Charizard is.
I know what Logan Paul's $5 million card is. I watched Moses try to trade him with that.
I seen that same one. Yeah, he was like, which I don't think that was going to be an actual transaction anyways. I think it was just them trying to flex their stuff.
He pulled out like millions of dollars worth of watches.
12 watches, and he's like, that's $500K, that's $350, that's $650. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Have you been shed hunting at all?
I have been shed hunting. I've been twice. So I set a goal this year to get 40 of them. I'm trying to get 40. I think my previous personal best is like 17, which is a lot for me. And I've decided that if I'm ever going to find 40, I'm going to have to start pretty early in the year. So, and the thing about down here in Texas is the green up is so early in the year that by the time they're all dropped, the grass is 3.5 feet tall already. So you're basically just picking up the stuff from the last year anyways. So I went out the other day, walked 2.5 miles for a couple hours, and it's funny, like the last 200 yards I found 2. Just 2 dinks. One probably 3 years old, and then one maybe from last year that had kind of been sun dried. And then I went out and walked this on Sunday for about 4 hours. I think like 4.5 miles, and I didn't find anything. I found 4 blinds. Like, that's funny good. Enough, in this like 80-acre block of woods, I found 4 blinds and 4 feeders. Like, everyone was setting up a blind. I think it was from the draw hunts probably, but this one little strip of timber along this creek had 4 blinds and 4 feeders. And then I ran into 2 guys that were squirrel hunting out there. So that's I heard a shotgun go off, which, yeah, that was pretty neat. But if I'm gonna get the dog, if you want him. Okay, see you, buddy. Good night. Get the dog. Sorry.
Bossy.
No, it's like the door's cracked like this much, and all I can see is like a half of an eye. And but yeah, we walked through there and
found 2 sheds total though.
I found 2 sheds in 2 trips, so I'm averaging a shed per 3 miles.
Not bad. Well, I mean, you also got to consider that. I mean, I don't know about Texas, but around here in Oklahoma, they're usually holding them till what, like mid-March? Seems like
a lot of them. So a lot of them really are.
You're kind of basically just looking for last year's sheds, or maybe a deadhead from this season, something like that.
I find very few freshies, like very few. Maybe just a few a year that are actually fresh.
I wonder if that has to do with like them dropping in like March, and then the green up's like right around the corner. So it's just either now or never kind of ordeal.
I think so. And I think down in Texas, where I'm at, you have to find them pretty much immediately or it's gone, or and I think a lot of time they fall in grass that's already 2 foot tall and you're never going to find them until it's, because now the stuff's so dead that like you can see all the rubs and everything. So I don't know. If I'm going to find 40, I'm going to have to walk 120 miles. That's the math I'm doing.
Well, I mean, that's a good goal. That's a tough goal, especially from, I guess, where you're located. But I don't know how much shed hunt I'm going to be able to do because, like I said, it's like mid-March when they really like the freshies start dropping, and then I got a kid right around the corner from that. So, did you see Connor had his kid?
I did, yeah. I messaged him about that. That was awesome.
That's cool.
We got a few over here on Instagram. Somebody said 1317 Ranch that I didn't know Pokemon was a game. Hunter Simmons said, "Hey, what's up, Big Daddy 1 and Big Daddy 2?"
Am I 1 or 2?
You can be which one. They're both Big Daddies. Rob Fisher said, "Hey guys, almost missed this coyote hunting." Heck yeah, man. That wish there was some good places to coyote hunt around here. And Hunter Simmons said, "Bro, let Winston in." It wasn't letting Winston in. It was letting Winston out. Because when he hears something outside the room, he'll scratch at the door for an hour trying to get to it. And then you let him out, realizes it's not something he wants, and then he wants back in. It's like having a kid.
Typical dog.
Samuel Crabtree said the best thing to do is get a 22 and squirrel hunt while shed hunting.
That's a good idea. I actually like that. Like, I think I would thoroughly enjoy squirrel hunting. We used to do it when we were like littler, but then we were out there trying to do it so much that the squirrels just started hiding. Either that or we were eradicating them. But yeah, that would be fun. The only thing that sketches me out about 22, like using 22s for squirrels, I know that that's what you're kind of supposed to use, but just shooting them up in the trees with 22s, especially with, it's not like we have large land holdings. It's like 20, 40 acre chunks. So that's what I worry about, just the stray bullet. And so I think I'd rather use like a 410 or something like that.
410 would be a great squirrel gun. A great squirrel gun. I think what I'm going to do this spring is just put my bow on my back while I shed hunt for pigs. Like, I always see pigs when I'm shed hunting. It's always in the spring, walking up on a group of 40 or 50 of them. So I think that's a good strat too. It's just bring your bow. We can hunt them with shotguns down here, like hogs. Or no. Actually, you can't. I take that back.
You can't? I figured it'd be like by all means. You could go up and
not on the public. Not on the public. You can shoot them with anything on the private, but not on the pub. Sadly.
Is that the same in Oklahoma? Granted, I don't have to go on public for hogs.
I don't know. I think you can kill them anyway on public in Oklahoma. That's just a kind of an area specific thing. Aaron said, went out Sunday, but no sheds, but I found a stand that had more advanced security system and more cameras than Epstein's cell. Go Steelers. What's that mean? An Epstein cell? It didn't have any cameras, did it? At least that's what I thought.
So were you going in there to like try to get the stand? Like, why were you worried about the security system around it? I mean, that's free stand if you think about it.
I went out to when I was shed hunting, trying to grab one of my cameras that I set out that had disconnected in October. And I went out there and there was just a strap left. Camera was completely gone. Yeah. It's like, nice. And it was a cell cam too. So it's like, dang it.
Yeah. I mean,
really sucks.
That's kind of ballsy to do it that way. I mean, if someone takes the SD card, all right, fair play. But like take the whole camera, that's kind of a little bit too far.
It could have had GPS in it. Thankfully, it was one of the older ones.
Yeah.
It kind of made me sad because I saw the strap from behind, and I'm like, "Oh, there it is." And I walked up and I pulled on it. It wasn't there. Just wasn't there. And it had been like sliced with a knife. Like somebody walked up and just went. Sucks.
Yeah, I need to go. I should probably go pick up the cameras over there at that piece of public before I forget them or accidentally delete them on X or something like that. But I think I got like 2 or 3 over there. But I really don't want to look at the only thing I'm worried about is that Tacticam over there, just because that other fellow's cell cams in that vicinity as well. So I don't want him to just like grab both or maybe send a buddy in there and be like, oh, hey, grab this one. And he ends up grabbing, accidentally, whatever. But as for the SD cameras, they should have full battery. So I'm like, I have half a mind just to kind of leave those and let them soak if I go pick up that Tacticam, just to kind of see what's like when they kind of start using it or, when they're dropping their antlers. Just leave it up until basically the end of next summer and then just swap batteries if it's in a good spot. Does that sound like a stupid idea or no?
It can't hurt. It doesn't do it's not gathering any intel at home.
That's true.
You may swap, if you're curious what's on there this fall, like go swap SDs and then move on, swap SDs, check it out. I'd be antsy to see what was there all fall if you haven't checked it out.
But then I'd just be kicking myself because there's probably that one buck that came strolling through using one of those trails every single day. And then I just never got in there. Oh, he'd be giant next year, though.
That's just how it goes. Zach said, can shed season get here sooner? Yes, I wish. I wish it could get here sooner, Zach. Samuel Crabtree said, where do y'all think the best place to find sheds are?
Typically on the ground, I think. What would you say?
For real. What do you think? What's your best spot?
I mean, I at least the private that I have, it's like the thickest, nastiest spots they have. That's where I find the deadheads, because I guess they just run in there and hole up and die. And then that's also kind of where I find the sheds, like not necessarily in just the open, but if you follow those trails, I'll turn that on silent. If you follow those trails, like in the inner workings of those bedding areas, that's where I typically find them. And then on public, depending on what it looks like if you're in the southeast kind of portion, the more mountainous stuff, I think you can find them. This would be a good one to have like Jordan and Justin on, because Shed King, Shed Queen over there.
You mean the Shed King?
Yes. Like I know for sure, like those oak flats, and then where I personally find them is those dried up creek beds. Now I find them 3 years later when they're bleach white and they stick out like a sore thumb, but I mean, that's where I find most of mine. Like I found this one. It was like off of I don't know, it's probably 60 yards off that logging road.
I remember.
Right. And then it was.
That was in the summer though, too.
Yeah, it was in the summer. Do you think it was good? Do you think that was from like last year, like the year before that? I think
it was probably 2 years old, if I had to guess.
I mean, he's pretty knotted up or chewed up right there.
But that deer is a toad.
Yeah, he was a pretty good one. That's my best shed, though.
I mean, how big do you think that deer would have been matching?
As a mainframe 10, I mean, obviously he has this one, but I don't know. As a 10 point, probably like low 130s. Don't you think?
I think maybe even a little bigger if it had that matching side with the dagger point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking good buck.
You want to see my all-time favorite shed, though? Found on Oklahoma Public?
Yeah.
I want to get it.
All right, Jacoby's going to get us a really nice shed to show. Little show and tell. I don't know if that's what you asked for, Samuel, but you're getting a show and tell.
Now, preface. This is Oklahoma Public. Look at that thing.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. and I found it. This thing was like 80 yards from where I shot that one.
Freaking elk shed.
I know.
Talk about diversity.
Like you see them down there every now and then, but to find one of the sheds. Now, granted, it's a dink, but it does have a couple fronts, so I'll take it.
Pretty cool.
It was. That hyped me up. I felt illegal, like carrying that thing out. Like I was literally hiding it. It might have, I don't know, but like I was literally hiding it, just like walking to the truck, just because I don't want someone to come by and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Even though people shed hunt that place all the time.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it's just the thickest, nastiest cover. You can also find them on like wheat fields and stuff that they're feeding on in the winter, but I don't have a lot of access to that, so that's not where I should hunt. Aaron said, guy had 5 cameras, 1 on his ladder, 1 high that tracks movement, and 3 surrounding the trails. It made me laugh. I'm surprised how... Oh, you cliffhangered us, man. How what?
I mean,
guy had 5 cameras.
What's the biggest problem about a cell cam? They don't paint the whole picture. That man painted the whole picture. So you got to give him a little bit of credit there.
Nothing's getting by his stand.
That's yeah. Like if he checks his phone and there's not a big buck on it, he's glad he didn't go.
He knows that there wasn't one in the area.
Yeah.
He's probably at home running his thermal drone over a stand like, are they in the area?
Probably has like an arrow launcher attached to it. Just like, all right, whenever that thing goes off, I'm flying up.
There's a guy in my neighborhood that he has 2 security cameras, 1 on either side of his garage. And he has his trash cans bicycle locked with like an extension cable that goes out to the road. He bicycle locks his trash cans because he thinks people are going to steal them. And he's like a really weird individual. He lives on Clayton Street, thank God, not my street.
So does he have to like go unlock them before the trash people come?
Like it's not around the lid; it's just around the base of it. Like that little thing in the back, there's a handle in the back you can pull trash cans from. It's around that. And I'm like, dude, who's going to steal your trash can? Everybody has trash cans.
Maybe he had one stolen one time. He's like, never again.
No, he's like a weird albino.
How old is he? If he's like 80 years old, understand.
No. He's probably in his 30s. He lives with his mom.
Nice.
People think he's like a serial killer. Doesn't live on my street, but I think that's creepy behavior. Okay. Colton said, how do I hunt more without wrecking my marriage? I'm assuming he means how do I hunt more without wrecking my marriage? Jake?
I mean, whenever you figure that one out, like you let us know. Heck, I don't know. You tell me. You're the one that has traveled the furthest, so
I think the earlier that you can communicate what you're doing and agree on it, that's the better. I mean, we just bought a year-long calendar to try to, write everything in that we're doing. That's not just hunting stuff. That's like personal trips, family stuff, events, whatever. But I think the earlier that you can plan for it, the easier your wife can kind of make plans. Because the main thing that Lauren gets mad at me about is like when I go hunting on a whim and she's like, well, now I don't have anything to do. I like told all my friends I was going to be here or wasn't going to be here or whatever. So if she can make plans, she'll usually be happier. So that usually happens by giving them in advance what you're going to do. But yeah, that's the only thing that I found.
Christian's already on his 3rd marriage, so take notes.
Those first 2, man, they're really
that's just practice run.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only thing I know. And then be a good husband. I'm working on that part. Let me know when you figure that part out. There's a couple on Instagram here. 1317 Ranch said, Jake, I brought my thermal down. I'll try to catch up with you to show you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. So me and a buddy, like we do a lot of like jobs around the lake together. And so he'll send out invoices and we'll like kind of switch out owing each other money basically from like different jobs we have coming in and stuff. And he told me, he was like, I'm just gonna spend your half like of this one, and I'm just gonna get you a thermal drone or not a thermal drone,
thermal scope.
Thermal scope, yes. And he just like, that way you don't have an if, and, or but about it. And I'm like, you know what? If I were to do that, That's one way I could buy myself something that I already want and like it not be my fault. So mark that under how to hunt more without wrecking your marriage. So there's an idea.
Form an LLC to get around your wife. Yeah.
Basically.
Come back next week for more marriage advice.
How to buy stuff without them knowing.
100%. Well, have you seen those memes where like guys buy each other like $2,000 gifts? Like, dude, you got me a bow? Thank you. And then he gets him a bow. That's the way to do it.
Do you have those 2 sheds on hand that you found?
No, I'm keeping them all in the back of my truck.
Oh.
I'm keeping a pile. Hopefully they don't get jacked, but these are ones that if they got stolen, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
If I find a good one, I'll bring it inside. But
some dude like looks under there and grabs one every day for his dog.
I definitely give them away. I don't keep the dinks. I always give them to people for chew toys, but I want to do a shed pile pick at the end of the year. Like I'm kind of trying to keep my stats on how long I've walked, what I found. I think
it's going to be a depressing number at the end of the year.
I'm up to 400 miles walked.
Yeah.
Probably
only burn through the boots.
Rob Fisher said, I hope you guys make the outdoor show in PA this year in February, north of 30. Are we doing any trade shows this year, Jacoby?
I mean, they'd be local. They wouldn't be in like Pennsylvania or anything like that. That's for sure. At least not for me this year, just because child.
Well, we may be doing a local trade show, but there's more to come on that as we figure it out. Zach said Cedars is where I found them. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely I think it's definitely a good spot to hunt for sheds. We have a bunch of tickets down here too.
Do you think depending on like the vegetation and stuff? Now I know just because I've did like a little bit looking into this. What's your like anecdotal thought though on the different color and variations of antlers versus like the habitat?
Well, I think it has to do with sunlight.
Yeah,
a bunch, because you see the more plains type deer, whether it's northwestern Oklahoma or western Kansas or whatever, they have very like bleached white antlers. And then you see deer in the eastern part of Oklahoma, not even down in the mountains and stuff, like even getting closer to home, places where they have like thicker, denser bedding cover. They have more like of a chocolate antler. I think chocolate antlers are definitely my favorite. But my second, maybe not. They might be my second favorite. Caramel. I like caramel antlers.
Caramel
like
color.
Your buck behind you, the one you shot, the big one. I love that color, that caramel color. They're almost like have a yellowish tint to it, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That giant one that came up on me on public that winded me and ran off, and I got to watch him bound off. He had the most caramel, and I was just like in awe of them because they were just boom, boom. Just dark chocolate gets me, but caramel is like it's it.
Now, granted, you don't see a whole lot of bucks down there, but something just at least down there I've never seen is just like dark chocolate horns, but they have mass. I've seen it the other way around, but like, and granted, I don't know if that's just me like thinking about the Kansas stuff, because a lot of the Kansas deer that have like just a pop can mass, they're usually more white, but like, and as you digress down to Oklahoma, that's what kind of flips my switch. Like, yes, I agree. I think caramel first, dark chocolate second, white third. And then, but like just what I think takes the dark chocolate over the caramel over the dark chocolate is just like just the mass. For some reason, I don't know if it's just like vegetation type, that equals to nutrition. That's just anecdotally what I'm seeing. It's like whenever they're dark chocolate like that, I don't see like the big pop cans.
I like the dark chocolate because when they come through the timber, especially in a place that's like shaded, you don't even know if they're a buck for a second. Like they kind of blend in and then they turn their head and you're like, oh, that thing's got a big rack on it. And it kind of like catches you by surprise. So I do want to shoot a big pop can white horned one time for sure. I have one that's pretty white horned from Southwest Oklahoma, but he's like kind of yellowish. He's not like completely white. So I want to shoot a big Kansas white one.
Now that you mentioned that, my Southwest one from like 2 years ago, that's the widest one I have.
Yeah, that 8-point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 100%. Samuel said the problem we have is we don't find them soon enough. The squirrels will chew on them until there's almost nothing left. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much. 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 That's pretty pretty much the deal around here too.
Do you think hogs eat them?
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like that's a lot of chewing for a hog.
Yeah.
Squirrel does it like they don't got anything better to do. I feel like a hog needs to eat. Hunter Simmons said, dude, some dude in our apartment building across from me caught the patio on fire because he was trying to have a fire on his patio.
It seems like a high IQ individual.
That seems to happen at apartments quite a bit. You meet some funny individuals. In our first apartment, me and my wife had our cars broken into like 4 times. I was like, this is great. I love this.
I love people.
Yeah. Hunter said, how do I pay off credit cards without wife knowing? Just don't pay them off, man. Follow me for more financial advice.
Let it go to collections.
That's funny. Aaron said he painted the picture for sure. He had 2 metal plates blocking the ladder too. Best part of the 3 other ladder stands within 50 yards. I love PA Public. That doesn't sound like even real.
Yeah. 2 metal plates blocking the ladder. So basically, he already has a full setup already like set up in a tree, but yet it's still taking him 30 minutes to get set up just because he has to undo plates and the crap.
You forget your ring of janitor keys. You can't get in your stand. You're like, piss. Yeah. I can't get my. Who has my keys? I feel like if I bicycle locked my trail cameras, I'd just end up leaving the keys and losing them, and I just wouldn't be able to get my camera. I'd have to bring freaking wire cutters out there or something.
Trying to shoot the lock off with your pistol.
That didn't work too well, did
it? You said that like I'm the one that did it. I'm not the one that did that.
Those Canadians are awesome.
Those Canadians are one of a kind.
I think my favorite Canadian accent is
the cook.
Newfoundland.
Who said that?
That's where the cook. Yeah, that's where the cook was from. Was Newfoundland.
Oh, gotcha.
Dude, that was the best accent in the world.
Well, he just had the personality for it too.
I think they're all like that. I think that's what makes it funny. And when he was talking, I was getting like every third word, and you got every few minutes you got him with the, oh yeah,
yeah. Just let them know you're paying attention and you're trying, but you don't know what the heck they're talking about. It's just like, listen, I heard mother effing and like something about pepperoni, but we're not even talking about food. And it's like I don't follow, but man, I'm trying to be nice here.
I love that. All right, you were saying, bring some more up,
huh?
Some more comments.
Oh, okay. Let me see where we're at.
I think we're right here.
Oh, yep, clicked on the right one. The Outdoors with Sundown said, I have heard it depends on what kind of tree or brush the shed. Yeah, they shed the velvet. Yeah, so that's exactly what I heard too. Like depending on the type of trees or shrubs or whatever that they rub on to get the velvet off, when they do that, it's the sap from the tree is what I heard. I don't know if that's the same concept that this guy's heard, but yeah, it has to do with like sap on the tree and then also I think sunlight.
It's interesting.
He said shed, not sec. Yeah, okay. Dan said, hi guys, Dan from Northeast Pennsylvania. Well, we got a lot of Pennsylvania guys.
They got a lot of hunters, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Hello, Dan. Welcome.
Good hunters. Zach said, in y'all's opinion, how do we change the hunting landscape in the state you live or across the U.S.?
I wonder what he means by the hunting landscape.
I would assume just like the
quality of the hunting?
Yeah, the state it's in. Like, yeah, quality. Yeah, I mean, I guess if he's in Texas, that might have to do with a lot of access stuff too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. We've kind of talked about the limits and the regulation side of it, which I don't know if like government is always the answer to every one of our problems. But when we're talking about natural resources, in some sense, it kind of is.
What's that thing I heard the other day about Trump signing off like 1 million acres of Alaska or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I saw that. He said, I mean, how do we better it for our kids? What do you think, Jacoby?
I think you soon to be. I guess technically
you are.
But from what me and Christian have talked about, I think how good public is and the rules and regulations and whether like your good public goes to draw or however that swings. I think that's in a sense out of your control. But if you're like wanting to for sure control the quality of hunting your kids get, I think the best thing you can do from what the few conversations me and Christian's had is to just like try to make your own slice of heaven somewhere, whether that's 110 acres or whether that's 400 acres, whatever you can afford. And like and it might be where you have to drive 5 hours to be able to hunt it, but you know, when you go hunt it, it's going to be good. So whatever that looks like to you, that's what we're attempting to try to pursue is that. And so, I mean, I think that has to do with like get in where you fit in and try to buy where you can and then try to make the best of it. That way you always have a spot to hunt, not necessarily because permission's not always going to be there. And the quality of hunting on public, I think, is going to get more and more challenging, if that makes sense. Whether people try to take it away or whether hunting grows in popularity like it has been, and the pursuit for big bucks gets more and more monetized. I think it's just going to get more and more challenging. So, with all that said, the little that me and Christian know about life in general, that's what we have concluded. So, do you have anything to add on that?
No, I think that's a pretty good take. I think you have to. The way that I think about it is, you kind of have to give more than you take. In a sense, like for me, it would feel good to like smack more bucks or lay more down. And I heard an interesting perspective the other day from it was actually from Don Higgins, which like I respect him, especially on like the spiritual, like loving the Lord type sense.
Right.
But he's also a big buck killer, which helps too. And he was talking about consuming the resource, and we have like a limited resource. And he's like, of course, there's people that go around the country and they shoot 3, 4, 5, 6 mature bucks in a year, like good mature bucks. And he's like, I don't really get that because to me, it kind of seems kind of selfish. Like the most you need is a couple to kind of satisfy your itch on shooting good bucks in a year. And the most I've ever shot in a year, like good mature bucks, was 4. And I don't think you get any more satisfaction shooting 4 than you do 3, or 3 than you did 2. Of course, if you shoot multiple bucks, you're like, wow, this is a great year. But I think you got to think about it from that lens. Like everything that you're taking could be something that someone else could enjoy. So like try to limit what you're taking as much as you can so that someone else can kind of enjoy a quality resource too. And that, I think, as a dad and as like a person who's you're going to have kids, I have a kid, it's like someone else is kind of behind you looking to enjoy this as well. So you kind of got to steward in a way where there's like, hey, there's this whole cake here. I'm going to eat a slice. So there's still 8 more instead of like, I can sit down and eat this whole cake if I wanted to. So that's just the way I kind of think about it. And I like kind of look around. You probably do. You got some good bucks on the wall. Like you don't have to shoot another one. You could be happy with your whitetail experience, but there's someone behind you kind of coming up that wants to live that for the first time.
Yeah, someone who's absolutely ate up with it, and like that 8 point or whatever, that call buck would be that other person's
dream.
That would make that other person's year. And it's like at that point, it's like, should you shoot it? And maybe that's the way more people need to look at it. Maybe more people will get to that. Like I do as I say, not as I do, right? Because trust me, I like killing deer. Dadgummit. Whenever a nice deer walks in, you're just like you just get trigger happy. I get it, but yeah. No, I mean, I agree.
But I think it's like for me, and I think everyone gets this place. You got to this place is like I care about the quality. I don't really care about shooting 5, 6 bucks, 4, 5 bucks a year, whatever. And I think about all those bucks. You're like, man, that buck needs to be shot, but it's not really a buck that I'd be proud to hang my tag on. 100%. That is like the perfect place to be when you have people coming up. You're like, my son would love to shoot a 5-year-old 80-inch cull buck, and that'd be a freaking giant. And so would 90% of people. So I don't know. I think you really got to take a look at. I think one of the things we fail at a bunch as deer hunters, and it's the same thing for me, is we like overconsume the resource. It's like, well, I have another buck, so why wouldn't I go shoot it? It's like, because it's the one. You have one more mature buck. I probably, you know what I mean? That's just where my mind goes. Because I'm always like, well, what's going to be here for next year if I wipe all these out,
Yeah. I also think looking at it as like a step back and like, I don't know. I feel like the more I grow like in my faith, the less deer hunting means to me, if that makes sense. And like when you and then when I think about that and like I'm focused on that, it's like I don't care. Like I don't care about deer hunting that much. And like and then like I know I'm just rambling, but it makes me realize like it is about the experience over the buck. Now, trust me, I'm coming off of a binge of saying I want to kill the biggest buck I can get my hands on, and that's not going to change. But just the pursuit, whether it's like should I go do this or go do this just for the sake of hunting, it's like that's more like it rather than just being out there because I need to kill this big thing or else like I'm not going to have a good hunt. Like that's what I'm learning it is about, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Dan said, Zach, I don't think you would change the landscape considering the area can be huge. Instead, create ways to channel or funnel the deer in that area. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was before we clarified the question. Okay, here we go. Logan left one on Instagram. He said, what do y'all think of the different characteristics of whitetails? Like South Texas whitetail have good racks but tiny bodies versus the Panhandle has bigger bodied deer.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
What do y'all think of the different characteristics of whitetails? Like the South Texas whitetails have good racks but tiny bodies versus the Panhandle has bigger bodied deer.
So I know. Well, I'll let you speak for yourself. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I just think it's awesome how different deer are. It's so sick. I think it's so cool that you can be in one part of a state and you shoot a 125-pound deer with a 160-inch rack. You drive 4 hours in the direction. You can shoot a 160-inch deer that is 100 pounds bigger. You're like, these are the same thing, but not really. Not really the same thing, but they're kind of the same thing. It's so cool.
It's almost like a toss-up now because what's cool about like the mountain bucks, so I know he was referring to Texas, but like in Oklahoma, that's Southwest compared to Southeast, right? Like you get big bodies in Southwest or big bodies in Southeast or small bodies in Southeast, but freaking big racks. And like, I like that because whenever you see like a good buck in Southeast, you're like, that's a mega. But then you turn that over to like the Southwest stuff, and it's like you don't really realize how big the bodies are until you like walk up to one and like especially try to load it up in the truck, whether it's gutted or not. It's like, dude, you can lay down beside these things because I still got that footage, and it wasn't even the biggest bodied buck that probably came off that place. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this thing probably weighs more than me.
Oh, it definitely does. For sure. Yeah. That one I shot this year that weighed, or that was 104 inches. It weighed like 235 live weight.
That's insane.
And I know they get way bigger than that. Like in the Midwest, they can be 260, 270, 300 pounds, like in Alberta and Saskatchewan and stuff. And it's kind of like, it's like you see Victor Wembanyama, who's 7'4". You're like, that's kind of a human, but not really. That's like something different. And deer are so freaking cool because you could get in your car in Mexico, drive 35 hours and be like, oh no, I can still get out of the car and there'll still be a deer right there. That is so sick. Like deer are freaking cool. Whitetails are cool. I don't know if that answers your question, but I like it. Here's one for you.
Samuel Crabtree, what's y'all's biggest bow buck? What's your biggest bow buck, Christian?
My biggest bow buck is 162 and 5/8 inches. What's your biggest bow buck?
Just square that. Same thing. Right there.
162 and 5/8.
162 and 5/8, yes.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of it's like a spiritual thing. That's crazy. My biggest one, let me see if I can grab it, is right there.
We do need to get them together side by side and just see the differences. Like they officially score the same, but
to the eighth.
We just need to see like just what all's different and then what all. Yeah, that'd be cool to do.
If we end up doing a like a trade show where we have a booth, which we're talking about doing, we should bring them and put them on the booth or something. But
that'd be fun.
They're different. It's funny because they're the same score, but they're very different deer. Your deer's wider, I think, has bigger beams, My deer has huge eye guards. It's just they're different. But anything over 160 is a big boy.
We got an internal comment from our buddy Denton. He said, "Christian, show a tit. Come on."
I can't. I told you not to tell anyone about that. That was just for you. Okay, we got a couple more on Instagram, and then we'll get back to the YouTube ones. Hunter said, "I don't understand how people eat more than 2 deer a year, to be honest." Yeah, I don't know. Backstraps, I can eat 2 backstraps in a week, and then I'm like, oh.
I have this. It's a birria taco, and dude, I will go through the ground. I eat probably now, since I'm actually trying to cut back from all the holiday fun. It's a pound of deer meat or elk meat or whatever a day, and it's like a birria style that I use for all the ground. Dude, I can hammer that stuff, and you can have a whole pound and like from the seasoning, and then it's like mostly like lime juice, so it's like kind of tangy. It is like you can eat the whole pound for like 1,000 calories, something like that.
Be very full.
It's sick. Yeah, it's sick.
So good for you too.
And I can crush it as long as it's made like that. Other than that, it's like, I'll be honest, I can't cook a good deer steak.
Oh, I can. My cast iron skillet, I can sear it, keep it super rare, salt, pepper. Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, I need to learn how, because it's well done every single time, no matter what.
1317 Ranch said, "So I know you guys love deer hunting, but you've also hunted elk. Do you guys enjoy elk hunting as much as deer hunting?" Jake's the elk slayer.
I got as many as you. Actually, he got more than me. But I think if there's a time and place, like we didn't grow up hunting elk, we did for whitetail, and it's kind of like you could compare that with like whitetail and turkey. Some people are head over heels for turkey, some people are head over heels for whitetail, and it's like if we didn't grow up really turkey hunting, so that's not, I feel like, what's in our blood and like that makes us tick. But I will say shooting an elk was up there. Like besides maybe shooting my big giant, like my biggest deer ever, it matches it. It matches it pretty hard. Now, granted, that wasn't even a hunt. That was like, we had to go in umpteen miles and like go through all this, adversity and all that stuff. It wasn't even hardly any of that type of story. And it was still like, I would go do it again tomorrow if I could. What do you think?
Elk hunting's pretty awesome. I think the vocalization side of it's pretty wild.
Just how big they are though. And like, as they're kind of just walking through, because we had so many encounters when we went up there, like whether it's just spikes or doe, I mean, heck, or a doe, a bull and a cow, granted it was a spike, came 5 yards from you, dang near stepped on you. And it's like, just seeing the body size, and it's just like, I can shoot that thing and like take it home. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, okay, 150-pound mountain buck, or maybe it's a 220-pound Southwest Oklahoma buck, but like to see something that big, and then when you're holding the horns, you have to actually get out here pretty wide and like use some effort just to lift up the head. And it's like, dude, there's something about it that would just, I understand why people do it. That's for dang sure.
I think it fires me up, and I really, really enjoy it. I think the only thing that sucks about it is like you have a limited amount of time to go spend away, and I have so many other aspirations that I'm like, well, maybe my favorite species I haven't hunted yet. Maybe it's going to be a Colombian blacktail or something different. But I really do enjoy elk hunting, and I would say if I had unlimited vacation, it's something I would plan on doing every year. Like, it's really fun. It's the vocalization part of it is pretty wild.
I feel like it would be a more opportunist type of hunting too, because obviously elk don't live everywhere whitetail do, right?
Yeah.
And so they're not as abundant. So with that said, it's like it's a lot better to hunt in a bad whitetail spot than it is to hunt in a bad elk spot. And so when you put those two side by side, I mean, that's like us taking a hike in Colorado that one year. For elk hunting. It's like pointless. We weren't even in the ball game, but yet if we were just taking a hike somewhere in a different state for whitetail, it's like you could put in the ball game. That might have to do with a little bit of experience, but it's also abundance. And it's like for the effort that you got to put in, like if you hold them side by side, I feel like it doesn't even compare. And you'd have to, at least for me, it's like if I ever go, it's like either the way we did it or we're going to put in for an absolute bad A unit. Just because I want to keep that experience at an ultimate high. Because I want whenever I go elk hunting to be like, okay, this is it. And I'm not saying you don't work for it, but what I'm saying is like, I want the opportunity to be there.
Yeah. If per unit of effort,
yes,
there is a potential reward at the end of it. The Outdoors with Sundown said, I think just educate them on deer hunting as a whole and teach them conservation. It's not always about killing. Like my dad grew up, they shot everything with horns, got to teach conservation. I agree with that. I think that's a good general message. Conservation. You can't consume everything and expect to have something else, You see people year after year, they shoot every deer on their property. Like, dude, my property sucks this year. Yeah, you killed everything.
A lot of that.
You killed everything. A lot of that. And that's my biggest fear is when I take, like, this year, we had 2 really nice mature bucks that didn't get killed, not because they got passed, they just didn't get killed. And I'm excited about that. We could have brought more people in and probably killed those deer, but I don't know. And it just excites me to have a seed for the next year.
Fun to look at too.
Oh yeah. Dan said, where are you guys from? And do you guys hunt other states? Jacoby?
So we're both from Oklahoma. We graduated high school together. We went to college, same college. I still live in Oklahoma. Christian's from Texas, and
I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
I live in Texas.
Are you weird?
No, you said I'm from Texas. I'm not from Texas.
I said you're from Oklahoma.
Go ahead. Continue.
No. I mean, yeah, we try to hunt other states. Like, not like there's desire to hunt a lot of places, but last couple of years we've been really trying to switch to like the more Western stuff and do that. So like we've hunted Alaska. Obviously we went to Canada.
That's so sick to say. You've been to Alaska. That's so cool.
That is cool, especially Kodiak, dude. That's like the one place I wanted to go if I ever hunted Alaska.
Bucket list.
And then obviously, if you're not from Texas, then I guess you hunt Texas. So there's that. And then
against my will.
Christian's shot a elk in New Mexico, and then also we both went up to Kansas. Christian shot one, I didn't. So all in all, moral of the story, Christian's a better hunter.
Say it again for people in the back. 1317 Ranch said, what's your favorite state to hunt in? So we can just kind of combine those. He kind of laid out where all we've been. I do eventually want to get one of those kind of maps, like a big country map that you can kind of pin the places that you've hunted and then killed animals in. I think that'd be kind of neat. Favorite states to hunt in? New Mexico was pretty awesome.
I think there's a lot more there than what meets the eye. Yeah.
New Mexico was awesome for the elk hunting. We saw that bachelor group of mule deer that every one of them was a booner. That was amazing to see. It's like the land of enchantment, dude. It's just, there's something
Did we see pronghorn on that trip too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Down in the valley. I think New Mexico's pretty high up there. Obviously Colorado's kind of one I want to get more into that I just kind of barely dipped my feet in.
Stuff or what?
So I'd love to spring bear hunt Colorado. I'd love to get it more into elk hunting. Obviously it's all, just time away. So it's just going to take years to do it all. But, I feel like Wyoming will definitely be one that I enjoy too. Just haven't got to hunt there yet, except for turkeys. I've been there once for turkeys. So
we did go to Colorado this last year for pronghorn. You call it hunting. We stayed for like 2 days on our way up to Canada. So like, it was just like a miracle if we would have got anything, but it was fun. We got on them. We had 2, I would say, legitimate stocks, unfruitful, but yeah, it was fun.
A couple tries.
Dude, so many cactus needles. I remember I was picking those cactus needles out for a while.
Okay, here we go. Any tips on getting my 6-year-old into my tree stand? His mother's terrified of heights, and he's copying it. I deeply want her to be part of my hunts and him to realize it's okay to get comfortable.
I mean, I think you would agree. Hang like 6-8 foot off the ground. I mean, obviously you want as much cover as you can and try to especially if he's 6, he's going to be probably moving a little bit. But I mean, I don't think you need to be very high off the ground. We're not. I know there's a lot of times there was one instance. It was last year, and I even sat in that same tree this year and seen. Well, that's where I seen that bobcat. Actually, I didn't see a deer. I had like 4 or 5 bucks chasing one doe. Now, granted, it was the rut; they were zombified, so they weren't really looking or paying attention up in the tree. But I was 1 stick high. Like my bottom feet was probably like 5 foot off the ground, and
oh yeah,
it worked. And I don't think that would theoretically be any different, but I don't think you have to get 25 foot like a lot of people say, especially if you're scared of heights. Like that ain't worth it.
I hunted the majority of my hunts this year were like 8 to 9 feet, like a 1 stick. I just put a 1 stick above my head, 3-step aider hunted. Also, the thing is, like, if you got a 6-year-old, if you can hunt with them in a blind, I mean, I would do whatever I had to get my kid out in the woods. And I think naturally they're going to work up some courage to get into a tree. And if you do want to get into a tree and go high, because that's how you hunt, just get a safety harness for them and a lifeline and show them how it's safe. So, I mean, I'm not a huge height guy myself, so I get where you're coming from, but I'd do whatever I had to do to get him in the woods.
Logan Jameson 101. How would you boys feel about states taking the model Texas has of setting bag limits by county rather than trying to lay down one policy for the entire state? What do you got, Texan?
Disrespect. That's a freaking big bass, by the way. I think I like the idea of that. I think ideally management would be on like a few square miles at a time, because it's so different even in one part of the county to the next. But I do like the county by county basis. They set the bag limits and stuff. I think there's some interesting stuff coming down the pipe with the drone, the thermal drones, and the ability to survey and actually get a realistic number on population densities, because I think they vary a bunch throughout not just Oklahoma. There's a lot more deer in the hill country than there may be in East Texas, and a lot more deer in South Texas than maybe the Panhandle. And I'm generalizing here, but I think ideally you would have each county understanding their deer density, their maturity across the herd, and then setting the bag limits based on that. And I think that would be kind of cool to see people do that. So I'd be very pro that. I know that's a massive strain on resources, but if it's possible, I'd like to see it.
I like that. Mason, when can I say my nephew?
February 28th. You can see him at his birthday party.
Found an elk deadhead this weekend too. Too bad it was either a spike or a 4-point. Couldn't tell because it was so ate up by squirrels. No telling if the eye guards would have been scoreable. Sir, it's not called eye guards, it's called fronts. So learn that.
We got an elk hunter.
Because I kept calling him brow tines. I was like, yeah, brow tines. He was like, fronts. And I was like, oh.
That's what Taylor told you?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Logan says, what are some of your favorite podcasts to listen to and books to read if you're readers?
Favorite like non-hunting podcasts that I listen to? Obviously I listen to like Jerry sometimes. It kind of just depends on the guest. I'll listen to Sean Ryan.
Sean Ryan's
quite a bit. I kind of get into the intelligence stuff sometimes, kind of not, just depends. And someone that I've been really interested in recently is Wesley Huff. I've been listening to him on several different shows. I really like the biblical, like, historian and the scholar, and like learning about ancient cultures is kind of interesting. So that's been something I've been kind of interested in lately, is the Bible stuff. And I've been listening to some Christian podcasts too. So like Bryce Crawford's podcast, he has some cool. I'll listen to like George Jenko from time to time. I really like Cliff Konecki, I think is his name.
I can't say his last name, like Kinchief or something like that.
Yeah, something wild. So that's kind of stuff I listen to. What about you?
So when you get do you get your tinfoil hat on whenever you listen to like all those ancient civilizations and stuff like that? Does it make you think a little bit?
A little bit. I think I care more about like the cultural context and like that sort of stuff. I'm not big on like ancient technology or how this happened. I don't really care. I think like God's like sovereign above it all. And I'm like, nice if you could have a real explanation, but the speculation doesn't really get me like, oh my God, how did they move a cinder block in the air? Like that doesn't get me going.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I agree. Like, obviously, God's sovereign over it all, but also, man, like, it just trips me out a little bit because you think about like all these examples, and you can listen to JRE. He has a lot of good stuff, but if you go down like the rabbit holes of his guests and stuff, and this is that you taking their word for it when it comes to like the research and stuff like that, thinking it's true. And obviously, I don't do any of that backlog and all that crap myself to try to fact check them. But like when you think about it, it's like there had to have been some sort of like, because we have the combustion engine, they obviously had something different. And it's like, is that sound, vibration, stuff like that? And like, if so, it's like humans aren't figuring that stuff out. And so I think it's like some sort of like spiritual like connect to, for example, in the Bible, it states that like the fallen angels came and mated with the women of earth, and that's how the Nephilim came.
I was going to mention that.
They obviously had some sort of intelligence beyond the humans, of just like straight humans instead of like the Nephilim and like the descendants of the fallen angels. And so to build that, what lasts on earth still today, and we can't figure that out. We figured it out. They're just not going to go and say, oh, hey, yeah, it's because we had intelligence of fallen angels. Well, that proves the Bible's real. And then Satan ain't going to have that. Right. So like, that's my belief of, that's the whole rabbit hole in a nutshell. But like, that's what I come to the conclusion every single time I listen to something like that.
Yes, I am interested in stuff like Nephilim. Like, did we have giants that walked the earth? The Noah's Ark thing in Turkey, that is kind of crazy to me. But it's more the historical stuff that to me that like proves that the Bible is true in ancient cultures and stuff. It's more not. It's less about like the archaeology and the tombs and the water and like that stuff. Like doesn't really fire me up. It's more about the biblical stuff for me.
I'm with you.
Justin said, I can't believe there are only 6 people watching this. Well, Justin, tell every single one of your friends. You have at least 6 friends. Come on. Mason said, when are you going to feature your big brother? I don't have a big brother, so I don't know. Maybe never, man. Maybe someday.
There you go.
Rob Fisher said on Instagram, I want to elk hunt this year. I'm retired now. What do you guys recommend I go with the bow? I have a house 10 minutes from the state in Southern Colorado, a state land in Southern Colorado. Recommend going with the bow?
For what?
Elk for the first time.
In Colorado? Mm-hmm. Is it a good unit?
I don't know.
I mean, if he just wants to go learn the ropes or whatever, I don't know. I ain't no elk expert.
It'd
be tough.
Our elk correspondent, our elk expert. That's what you are.
Yeah, I've shot one. I'm basically him. I'm basically Cameron Haynes.
Oh God, dude, for sure. I just think you gotta have if you're gonna be hunting Colorado, go in physically fit and have a way to communicate with people if you get hurt, because like that thing happened in Colorado this year where like 2 kids.
That's like unit 81 or something like that.
82. Yeah, so that stuff's scary. I mean, me and Jake Ayers were talking about that. He was like, "You think I should do a solo elk trip?" I'm like, as cool as that sounds, like probably not. You know, you have a kid.
I think you would learn something about yourself, and like you would get that spiritual and like, yeah, you'd get that spiritual depth. I feel like that you would seek. I think you would accomplish that, but is it worth the risk? I don't know.
I'm doing it once for sure, but I think it'll be when my kids are grown.
Oh, so
I'm gonna do it.
You're like 50 or whatever going out there.
Yeah, I want it to be after I've like sewed into their lives and they're adults. That's because I don't want to die and be like, well, why would your dad die? He was being an idiot. You know?
Yeah.
Different when you're older.
Yeah. Logan James says, what's the best tasting wild game?
It's tough to beat deer backstrap. I think elk is all around probably better. It's a little less gamey, pretty tasty. I'm trying to think what else I've had. You've had antelope. Do you think antelope was very good?
I think deer beats it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with elk, which is pretty basic answer, but probably elk. I like venison quite a bit too. It's just like a drier meat when you try to just
Yeah, that's something I can definitely tell. It's like the elk is easier to cook with. It doesn't like burn up as fast.
Yeah, I like elk quite a bit.
Mason says repetition with height will get rid of that fear. You got to get uncomfortable before you can get comfortable. This is somebody talking who I guess has jumped out of airplanes allegedly. So,
it's a good point. I didn't like to get held down before in jiu-jitsu, and then I was like, well, you just gotta get held down for about 5 minutes, then you realize, okay, you're not gonna die. I think they call that exposure therapy. So there you go. You can.
So does that mean if I have a fear of like claustrophobia, I just need to go like cave crawling?
No, you need to have your wife put you in a trunk and drive around.
Okay.
Like Mr. Chow from The Hangover. Little Joe Wetzel action, Mason said. Joey said, oh, here's one for you, Jake. Hunting plus guns should be illegal. All lives are equal.
Hunting plus guns should be illegal. All lives are equal. What does all lives are equal mean?
I guess he's saying that animals are just as valuable as humans.
Hunting plus... Oh, so hunting and guns should be illegal. Okay, well, Joey, you have a nice life, sir, because I disagree with probably everything that you stand for.
I disagree with as a person.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's so silly. Guns should be illegal. Okay,
cool. Are you religious?
You should delete
That's
911 from your phone. Don't ever call emergency services again. But thank you for your opinion. It's a free country. Logan said, also be sure to thank Jake for the compliment of being called a Texan. That guy sounds jealous.
Dude, I'm not. It takes one time to go to Austin. You got to drive through Dallas and then like, I don't know, some other big one. Yeah, Waco. And it's just like, I am so glad. The only good thing about Texas is Buc-ee's.
Dude, Buc-ee's hits.
Dude, I love Buc-ee's. You go in there after like eating some gnarly Mexican food or something like that, and you just walk into pristine bathrooms and it's just like, oh, this is nice.
Dude, they're like barbecue triple meat sandwich that's like $14 or something. So good. I love Buc-ee's. They have cotton candy. It's
dude,
everything.
those Buc-ee nuggets. We always grab like 6 bags of those.
They sell they just have everything. They sell deer corn there too.
Oh, nice. I bet you it's supreme too.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't think about that. Zach said Axis or Buffalo is the best tasting. I've heard Axis is really good.
Never had Axis. Never had Axis before. Never had Buffalo. Buffalo's on the slam. Would love to shoot a freaking buffalo.
Have you ever had like the ground buffalo from like Sam's or anything?
I have. It's good. It's really good. I just don't call it a wild game meat because I'm assuming those are like farm raised buffalo. Yeah. Because a guy I almost went to work for one time, he had like 10 buffalo that he was raising on his ranch out in the hill country, and they make like buffalo sticks, like the beef jerky out of them. And I bet it's awesome. But buffalo are such a sick animal. You want to talk about conservation, like saving stuff for your kids? It is so sad that we can't hunt buffalo.
And we would be in their habitat right now. We would be in their native range, and yet we don't have them. I blame your descendants.
What?
I just blame your descendants.
Who are my descendants? What they do?
I don't know.
I'm here,
Cherokee,
man.
so I respect them.
I was native, dude.
Okay. Logan says Austin is not Texas. Come to the real Texas. Come hunt some public land mule deer here in West Texas. It will change your mind.
Okay. You invited. No takebacks.
All right. You can take us fishing and hunting. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. Peyton said, Paydio12 on Instagram said, I'll show you a good meat stick, bud. Not very big, though.
Is it teriyaki or jalapeno and cheddar?
We know, Pate. Known you our whole lives, buddy. We know. Not blessed in the other regions. Oh, man. Well, what do you think? Good time to call it live?
I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing these, especially throughout the spring. It's like kind of a dead time in terms of like content, hunting. Everybody's like having their hunting hangover. So we're just going to keep doing the lives, trying to interact with everybody. So every Monday at 7 CST, we'll be on. So hope you guys would keep joining us, and shoot. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Go out, read your Bibles, study the word. That is the most important thing you can do now that, not now that hunting season's wrapped up, but like in the start of the new year, it's not like you don't have time to go to church or whatever because of hunting season, even though that shouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Long story short, it's about the relationship, not the religion. Logan also said, I already invited you, Christian. Let's make it happen.
All right, bub. Hit me up on text.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll leave you at this. I've been meditating on this one. It's Romans 12:12. Don't be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you can discern what the perfect, pleasing will of God is. We'll catch you guys next Monday.
I see you reading that on the screen. Jesus loves you.
Bye.